Hi, I'm Niall Healy. Today I want to show you around our 2005 Dodge Ram 3500 4x4 heavy duty Laramie pickup truck with the Cummins turbo diesel 5.9 litre motor, which we have for sale at the minute. So I sell boats for a living. We use videos a lot when selling our boats and stuff. This is one of our trucks that we've had for a while, but we've decided to sell it, and I thought I'd make a video of this to show you exactly what sort of condition the truck's in, show you around the engine bay, the interior, start the engine up, so you know exactly what you're looking at. So this is a 2005 truck. The special thing about this one is it only has 12,170 miles on the clock, which is absolutely nothing. It's like a brand new truck, fantastic condition. It drives like brand new, goes like new, it's got a year's MOT, and it's a phenomenal workhorse. But what I'll do is I'll walk you around the truck, show you all the features, show you the condition it's in, and hopefully help you to make up your mind whether you might be interested in it or not. How this truck came into our ownership was we had a Dodge Ram SRT 10. It's the 1500 model with the 8.3 litre V10. I had that for, I don't know, around about a year. An absolutely fantastic truck. Totally different animal than this thing, but a really nice truck all the same. And then a guy I know told me about this one. It would belong to a farmer here in Northern Ireland. He really wasn't using the truck, had it sort of parked up for a couple of years, and he wanted to know if we were interested in it. So whenever I went and had a look at it, saw that it only had 12,000 miles on the clock. It was like brand spanking new, totally standard spec. I jumped at the opportunity to own it. So we've had it for a while now. It really is too nice. I mean, that Cummins engine, it's a 5.9 litre turbo diesel. It makes 325 horsepower, 610 foot-pounds of torque. It is an absolute beast of a motor, really good workhorse. The thing, in the States, these things are rated to tow, in standard form like this one is, they're rated to tow 7.2 tonne. Now I'm not exactly sure how that works across this side of the pond with the regulations and stuff, but I mean, it's just an unbelievable bit of kit. And I thought I'd buy it and use it and drive it for the business, but whenever I saw how nice it was, and I just bought a new Ford Ranger not that terribly long ago. I decided we would just keep this as a bit of a toy for a while and then see if we can find a new home for it. But it is an absolutely brilliant truck. We've kept it pretty much standard. We've done a few little bits and pieces here just to try and make the truck look a bit better, just for my own sort of taste. So I'll point out what we've done to modify it, and hopefully you like it as well. First of all, this grille was like a chrome. It's like there was a lot of chrome in this truck. So this was chrome, and this bumper section was chrome as well. So I just thought a bit too much chrome going on. So I color coded this to the factory silver paint color. So this grille surround, we color coded this front bumper, and then this little extension piece was black plastic. So again, it looked a wee bit sort of stumpy. And I was used to driving the SRT 10, which is a really deep sort of fascia on it, so we painted this silver as well just to give it a bit more depth to the front end, make it a wee bit more imposing looking, a bit meaner looking. We also colour coded the wing mirrors and the door handles as well, so we had these done in the factory silver paint, professionally done. He was a really good guy. He did my SRT 10 one as well, so I was really pleased with how all that stuff turned out. And then I debated long and hard about whether to put alloy wheels on or not, go for bigger alloys, and I spent hours and hours online looking at these things, trying to figure out, because these are the type of trucks, some of them you look at online and you think, it doesn't really look that good, you know, and then there's other ones that you think, geez, they look amazing. And what I figured out was, it mostly had to do with tires and a lift kit. So what I did was I put on BF Goodrich all-terrain tires. These things are brand new, they've literally done like 100 miles. They're 285/70 R17 tires. The standard, they're standard factory rims, 17-inch like chrome wheels. They're steel wheels like a chrome face on them. So they're the standard factory wheels. But the tires, we went from 245/70/17 to 285/70/17, which actually increases the ride height of the truck by 2.2 inches. So it's just over 2 inches taller than it is on the standard wheels. And that alone totally transformed the look of the truck. I think it looks really mean, looks like it means business. Those all-terrain tires are good off-road, but they're not ridiculous on-road. They're not that much more intrusive than the standard tires. A wee bit more road noise, but not very much. and it has the added benefit of keeping all the suspension geometry completely bone stock. So the truck handles just like it should from new. We haven't put in any lifters or anything, there's no blocks in the suspension. This is just the standard ride height with a 2-inch elevation coming from the tyres alone. For me, I think that's sort of pretty much the perfect setup. The only thing I maybe would do is you can get a 2-inch lift kit on the front end, so it just levels the truck out a wee bit more, because it comes from the factory with like a bit of a rake, so the front's slightly lower than the back, which is normal because it means that if you load the truck at the back, it levels the thing out. But some people like to put a wee lift kit in there, which is like $300 or $400. But I decided just to try and keep the thing standard, we'd leave it as it is. But I think the combination of the little colour code we've done, the bumper, the wing mirrors and the door handles, along with those Bridgestone all-terrain tyres, just really make this truck stand out. It's a real head turner, looks the part, sounds really good as well. Surprisingly with the diesel engine, but the diesel engine does sound good. And it's in immaculate condition. The bodywork on this truck is obviously really nice. Now, whenever we got it, we gave it a full sort of clay bar mop and a polish, just to sort of give it a nice shine to it. Because we were doing the colour coding of the grille and the bumper at night, we could take care of any little stone chips and stuff like that there. So it is a really, the bodywork's pretty much perfect walking all the way around the truck. The front bumper's obviously great. Bumper's in great condition. If you're looking really hard, you might find out the odd wee blemish or stone chip here or there, but which is normal for any sort of truck. But because the miles are so low, there's very little of that stuff. This here is all in great shape, coming right the way down along the passenger side here. Again, you can see we've done the wing mirrors, done the door handles on this side. It has the chrome side steps from the factory with the Dodge logo on the actual tread surfaces there. The wheels are perfect all the way around. That chrome, whatever sort of chrome thing they've got on the front of the steel wheels doesn't seem to pit or corrode or anything. It's in great condition. It's the quad cab model with the standard bed on the back of it, and it's a single rear wheel. The 3500 is available with a dual rear wheel, but this is the standard single one. It's also got the Laramie spec, which means it's leather interior, cruise control, electric seats, all that stuff. We'll talk about all that when we get inside. And she's the heavy duty version, which means she's got that big towing capacity. The back end of it, we left the rear bumper standard chrome. Really, these are really solid bumpers on these things. Got the little tread step across it. It has the receiver hitch from the factory, so it's set up for the tow bar, but the truck has never had a tow bar, and I decided not to put one on there, because if I put one on there, I'd just be tempted to tow with it and put it in the salt water, and I don't want to do that. So there's no tow bar with it, but you can get, there's a company in England make those up, they're about 40 quid. But it has the benefit of, you know that this thing is never towed, it has not been abused in any shape, form or fashion. Tailgate's perfect. It has a factory load liner as well. So we've got the over rail liner on the rear door, the full under rail liner throughout the bed of the truck. We do have a tonneau cover as well, like a vinyl tonneau cover that you can put on the top of this. We'll put that on in a wee while and show you what it looks like with the tonneau cover on there. So you've got the factory cleats for tying down your load, and that load liner is immaculate. This truck has never been worked, never been put to serious use. It's been basically, as far as I can tell, it's only had one owner. It came to Northern Ireland when she was about a year old or something, maybe a bit less. She might have been like a pre-reg thing or something. And she was with a dealer for a while, and then there's been one owner since then, and then us. So that one owner, he used it as like a bit of a promo thing for his business. I think he used to have a filling station. He used to park at the filling station, drive it to and from home. And then in recent years, since he sold that business, it hasn't done anything. So it's been very lightly used, and the condition of it is absolutely immaculate. It's a great big bed actually. If you did want to use this truck for work, obviously they're built for that type of thing. So very heavy duty bit of kit. Everything works. There's one little small mark on the rear bumper I want to point out to you, so you know. Just a wee ding there. And this is very heavy stuff too. It is difficult to push it back out again. We did have a wee go at it, but it didn't really work. But there's one little mark there, and that's really the only defect around the exterior of the truck of any significance. So I just want to show you that so you know about it before you travel and come to look at the thing. The rear quarter panel here is perfect. Even taking a look in the wheel wells, and underneath the arches, everything looks like brand new. But we haven't done, other than give it a clean, we haven't done anything to this. We haven't painted it. We haven't sprayed it with anything. It's just, this is how we got the truck. You see the chassis wheels in here. serious heavy duty bit of kit. There's a real big strong frame that this truck rides on. It almost looks like a little lorry underneath instead of a pickup truck, you know. But the condition of it is like brand new. Honestly, I can't emphasize that enough. It's a fantastic, fantastic truck. Coming on forward, the driver's door and passenger door look good. It's got like this is a factory tint on the windows as well, so it's like a smoke limo, almost limo black glass on the rear windows and across the window at the back of the cab as well. The front windows are lighter, so they're compliant with MOT requirements and all that sort of stuff. One wee small paint chip here on the door. We've touched them with a wee bit of paint, but again, very minor. It's got the chrome side step on this side as well. Everything looks the part. Front line looks good. We've got the little Cummins turbo diesel badge as well. It's just a really nice, clean, straight truck, and it would make a great promotional vehicle, great tow wagon, great workhorse for your business. If you want something that's going to be reliable, have loads of life in it, it's going to get you noticed. This thing really does turn a lot of heads. This thing is well worth looking at. And the other thing about it is you can customize them whatever way you want. There's we stopped here because I think it's like tasteful and classy and looks well without going overboard. But you can do all sorts of things to these if you want. You can put in a 6-inch lift kit. You can put pipes on them. You can do graphics packages. You can do all sorts of things with them, which is some people like to do as part of the fun. This is now our third American pickup that we've owned in the last couple of years, so I've really sort of got into this in a big way. I think that they're class for the business and stuff. It's just, they turn a lot of heads and they're a talking point, and I just like it. They go well with what we do for a living. We sell boats, so American boats, American pickup trucks, they match up well. But one of the things I've learned about them is the spec is really important. There's a lot of these things, and particularly these heavy duty models like 2500s, 3500s, and the Fords, the F250s, F350s. You get them with fairly basic sort of interiors, like cloth interiors, and most of them have cruise control, but you don't have electric seats and things like that. And whilst they're fine, they still look the part. It's not the same. They're not the type of thing you want to get into and drive every day, or if you're going on a long journey, you're probably going to step into your standard work van or work truck because they're just not that nice. But this one, I've always sort of bought the top of the range ones. Like I had an Ford F-150 Harley Davidson, and a Dodge Ram SRT10. We've got this 350, and it's the Laramie specs, the heavy duty Laramie spec with a four-wheel drive. So they don't all come with four-wheel drive, which is important in this part of the world because, particularly if you're using off-road, you need four-wheel drive. And the other thing then is the spec level. So the Laramie spec on this one gives it full leather interior, electric seats on both the driver passenger side. You got heated power door mirrors. You got your cruise control. You got all sorts of like nice comfort things, which means it's a nice truck just to use as a car at the weekend as much as for work during the week. So yeah, this one's a really nice back level on it, but we'll take a look around the inside now. Once you hop up into the truck, it's got a really nice steering condition. So like I said, it's got these leather seats. There is like a velour or suede panel in the back of them with the Dodge Ram logo. But nice leather seats, fully electric as I said, front height adjustable, fore and aft, all that sort of stuff. You got the 6 seats in this, so it's got the row of 3 across the front with a little occasional seat in the middle, which doubles up as a big armrest storage compartment. It's got all sort of black vinyl interior, white face gauges. As you can see here, she's got 12,167 miles on the clock. So it's barely running. That engine, the Cummins, the 5.9 litre Cummins diesel, the turbo diesel, and in America they call it like the million miler. So there's loads of, if you look online, actually I was trying to look online to see what else was available, both this side of the Atlantic and in the States. And first of all, I couldn't find anything this age or even close with this sort of mileage, because these things are bought as a workhorse. They're bought by people that are towing stuff around the country for a living. So most of these things you see, certainly this sort of age, they've got like, it's not uncommon to find them with 200,000 and 300,000 miles on the clock. That's fairly standard. There's ones there with like 500,000 and stuff on them. So this engine like runs forever because it's like a truck and bus motor. It's an industrial motor. So it's really not seeing what the duty that is performing in this truck is nothing compared to what it was designed for. So the fact this one with 12,000 miles is not even running, this thing will go forever. And they make big money, like they're $27,000, $28,000 in the States with a couple 100,000 miles on them, this sort of age. So I think this one's great value. It's hard to put a value on because it's so low miles, but I think what we're looking for, it's really a great value truck. And a brand new one, this sort of thing is going to cost you maybe 70 grand or something like that by the time you get it home, that sort of neck of the woods. So great bit of kit, this thing. We'll fire the engine up in a minute and sort of let you hear it starting to run and stuff like that. But the interior is in fantastic condition throughout here. I just want to briefly run you through the equipment that's in this one. So we've obviously got your full range of gauges there. She's a four-speed automatic. With overdrive, so you know, she's got the shifter on the side, gear position indicator, she's oil pressure gauge, temperature gauge, voltmeter, fuel gauge, and then your tacho and speedo. She has cruise control, switches on the steering wheel. Everything works perfectly, by the way, as well. Everything's in absolutely immaculate condition. So cruise control on the steering wheel. You've got stereo controls on the back of the steering wheel as well for volume and station. It's a standard factory stereo with a front-loading CD player as well, so it's in perfect condition. You've got all your climate controls here, directing vents, air conditioning. The aircon works perfectly, blows cold air, recirculating switch. This bow here turns on your heated mirrors. So on colder mornings you can clear your rear view mirrors. And then she's got switchable 4-wheel drive, so 2-wheel drive, 4 high, 4 low as well. So if you are looking to use this for towing big trailers, or like if you're into boats like us and you're towing a big boat out of the slipway or something, you get 4 low there, really easy to switch it in and out of 4-wheel drive. Cigarette lighter socket here, a big cup holder, adjustable cup holders. Again, it's American trucks, you're going to have all these things. You've got an ashtray there, little like coat hook or something for hanging something up there, and you've got your light switches on the left hand side with dimming control on your internal lights and stuff like that. There's been a rear fog light retrofitted and a reversing light. The lights and everything have been modified for the MOT here. We did MOT it in May, I think the middle of May, around about the 15th of May. So she's MOT'd up to 15th of May or thereabouts 2018 as well. So you've got a full year's test on it. One thing I want to point out is you got this tow haul button as well. So I think that works with the overdrive and the gearbox. So whenever you're towing, you can flick that on, and she changes like shift pattern or whatever. Just changes the ratios for pulling big trailers. This seat here, you got a big storage compartment underneath it, the center seat, and then if nobody's using it, you can fold it down completely flat. It's a big armrest, and you got more storage in here. 3 storage compartments. You got a 12-volt power socket there as well, so if you want to charge a phone or something, you can do that and keep it in there. Quickly want to point out one little condition issue on the interior is there's like a wee, it's not even really a tear, I don't know what it is, it's sort of like just a wee star crack in the upholstery. Probably could be from lack of use. We have treated this stuff with like vinyl upholstery treatment and stuff to like supple it up a wee bit, but like this seat's hardly, virtually never been used, so all I can think of is it's just sort of gone hard and cracked a wee bit, but it's all sort of nicely treated and stuff now. You've big glove compartment over here as well, with a little courtesy light in there, and all the windows are fully electric also. The rear seat looks like it has literally never been used. Completely immaculate, like brand new carpet. The base seat backs are all perfect. You can also fold the seats, they flip up like this, and then you got these little panels, they fold out like this. So you got a full flat, you can do that with this seat as well, so the seat folds up and you got this heavy duty rib metal base that goes across the full back seat of the truck, so you can use that. It gives you a huge big load area in here as well. So and again, it's all, this is a heavy duty truck and it's built for work, so this is all top notch stuff, and as I said, it's all completely like brand new. 2 cup holders in here as well for your rear seat passengers. 3 3-point seat belts. You get this little sliding back window so you can talk to whoever's riding in the back of the truck. 2 coat hooks here as well, and it's all just in beautiful condition. I just want to show you the door jambs and like the hinges, so there's no dropping into the doors. Door cards are perfect. Little storage compartment, window switch. You got your grab handle here. All the jambs are, you know, the sills and recesses are all really nice condition. Passenger doors, same story. Door cards perfect. Big storage bins. Everything looks the part, condition wise there. On the other side then, it's the same story. Door cards are perfect, hinges are good, locks, mechanisms, everything's working well. All the rubber seals look perfect. The paintwork around the door jambs is good. Past the driver's door, it has a wee bit of wear here obviously because it's the one that's getting used all the time. But the door card's still good. The jambs, everything is good. There's no drop in the hinge or anything. It's got all the factory stickers on it for paint codes, build codes, serial numbers, all that sort of stuff. We obviously have all the paperwork with the truck as well, the history of it going back through the previous owners, the previous guy, and then the dealer that we had it from, and it's got current MOT certificate and tax book and all that sort of stuff. One of the big things that really attracted me to this truck whenever I looked at it was the first time I stepped in it and turned the key and fired it up. It started, first turning the key, and there was literally no smoke out of the exhaust at all. I drove it on the road a good bit, but before I bought it, you know, it was heavy acceleration on the way, nice clean. There's no exhaust smoke, no black fumes, nothing like that. It really does perform and feel just like a new truck, you know. So we detailed the engine bay. I put 2 new batteries in there because the batteries were a bit weak from standing around for a while. So we put 2 new batteries in it. We had the engine fully serviced, so we changed the oil filter, fuel filter, all the bits and pieces, had it fully checked over, had it checked for the MOT, put it through the MOT. I think one of the suspension bushes needed changed or something, one of the front end roll bar bushes or something like that there were just perished from standing around. But we've gone through it with a fine tooth comb, we've done everything that needed to be done. It has almost a full year's MOT, and she is ready to go. You know, I confidently step in this truck and drive it anywhere, you know. So engine bay is nice and clean and tidy. All the fluid levels are good. Service has been done. You've got the Cummins 5.9 litre. It's a big beefy lump of an engine. 24 valve turbo diesel. Condition wise is good. Bar a wee bit of corrosion, surface corrosion on some of the manifolds. There's no rust. I'll show you underneath the truck now actually because it's like brand new. Batteries are Halford models with a 2-year warranty as well, so I'll give you the receipts for the batteries. So if you've ever have a problem with those in the first 2 years, Halford will replace them, no problem. A couple of gas assist struts on the bonnet. This little courtesy light has a wee connection thing we need to look at actually. But even this is a nice wee touch. You know, the fact this little light comes on whenever you open the bonnet. Granted, we need to make sure the bulb's sitting in there properly, but you know, if you're checking fluids or something after dark or whatever, you can do that. I mean, this thing is designed with commercial use in mind. You know, there's people that are driving through the night, have to get where they're going. It's just a really good, solid bit of kit. Taking a wee look in underneath the truck then too, I just want to show you, look, like the size of that rear axle, that is a seriously heavy duty bit of kit. Got a big, like, I don't know, 3-inch exhaust pipe on it there. We've got a full size spare wheel under there. You can see the quality of the engineering and the leaf springs and stuff like that there. If you look further on up there, you can see really big chunky prop shaft. You know, it's apparent to see this thing is built for serious heavy duty use. You got underbody protection up at the front of her, and everything looks really nice and clean. Wee bit of surface corrosion on the exhaust, which is normal, but everything else looks immaculate, you know. She obviously was body shot or something was done with this whenever she was brand new to protect her. But everything underneath this truck looks as good as new. So this is the 3rd American pickup truck I've sold in a couple of years because, as I said, we're sort of into them at the minute. But I always talk about the fuel economy on these videos, and usually that's followed quickly by, if it's of any concern to you whatsoever, forget about it. Just stop watching the video, go and find something closer to home. But This truck is actually the exception. The fuel economy is not ridiculous by any stretch of the imagination. It's still a big engine. It's a 5.9 litre Cummins turbo diesel, so it's going to drink a decent quantity of fuel. But on a run, I've seen 20 miles to the gallon on the display. So you get the little fuel computer up here, gives you your miles to the gallon, fuel miles to empty, and that type of thing. So little digital readout up there. So I have seen 20 miles to the gallon on a run. Around the town, it drops back to about 15 or so. Now, I'm pretty sure that's also converted, it's calibrated for a US gallon, so that whenever you convert that, it's maybe 10% different. So a wee bit more whenever you convert it to UK miles to the gallon. But it's not going to break any fuel economy records. But like my new 1-year-old Ford Ranger's doing 26 miles to the gallon. So whenever you stack it up to that, it's not that big a difference, and it's certainly not ridiculously expensive to run if you're using it for longer journeys and stuff like that. Obviously, this is not a town vehicle. You're not going to use it for running messes in and out of city centres, but for longer journeys, the fuel economy in my mind is perfectly reasonable, But I'll fire it up now and let you hear it start running. Even though she is the diesel, and one of the things that sort of attracts me to these things is the rumble of the V8 engine, the sound of the V8. This diesel really didn't disappoint me. It does have an aggressive sound. It's quite, they tuned it over the years since they brought this motor out in like the early 90s or something, but they tuned it over the years for more power, more torque. So it's 325 horsepower, this thing. Like, that's more than the Ford F-150. I had a Ford F-150 Harley Davidson with a 5.4 litre V8, and it only made 300 horsepower. So this thing makes 325 horsepower. It makes 610 foot-pound of torque. It's a lot of power. It definitely it blows the roars off my Ford Ranger or any sort of UK pickup truck. It's no slouch. The performance is there, as is the towing capacity, which goes without saying. But it also sounds really good too. Whenever you're under load. There's a bit of noise off this thing. The noise alone is enough to turns heads, So I don't think, there's no hardship in running this thing. Even if you are looking for that V8 sort of, if you're looking for that classic American pickup truck sound, it's just a different type of sound, but this thing does deliver a bit of noise. But what we're going to do is, it's getting a bit late today, but tomorrow we'll take it out a spin. You can come along for a drive so you can see how the thing drives, how it handles. Because it's like so young, it's only 12,000 miles on it, because it's so fresh, it drives like a brand new truck. No shakes, no rattles. I think anybody who comes over to look at this truck or comes to see it is going to be impressed with it, I just know it. But we'll take you out, we'll show you the road test footage now so you can see how it goes underway. And then it just gives you a complete picture of what the truck's like. We just popped the tonneau cover on here before we take the truck out for a spin. So it's like a leather vinyl tonneau cover. It's got reinforced ribs underneath it, so it keeps the rain off it. It's perfect for high-speed driving and all that sort of stuff. And it's pretty easy to take off and on. It's just got 4 bolts to pop it off and on. So that's coming with the truck, and it's in perfect condition. So taking this truck out on the road, it drives really well. So as I've said before, you're probably getting sick listening to it. I've had a few of these now. So this is the 3rd American pickup truck we've had. The first one was a Ford F-150, then I had the SRT10, one of these, and then this Ram 3500. And this probably is the nicest drive. Well, the SRT10 was a different animal altogether. It was like a out and out sort of speed machine. But this drives a hell of a lot better than the F-150 did. I know in the States you get this big debate of Ford versus Dodge and stuff like that there. having owned both, I would say that the build quality in the Dodge seems to be better than the Ford. The Ford used to rattle a lot and stuff, and you know, there's still a nice driving truck, but just didn't seem as well screwed together as this Dodge does. There's no, probably a lot of it has to do with the fact that it's only got 12,000 miles on the clock, but there's no like rattles, there's no shake shutters out of this thing. All the interior trim isn't really, you know, it all feels nice and sort of high quality and well put together. Because we didn't mess around with the suspension geometry or anything either, it means that this handles exactly like a standard truck should do. It sailed through its MOT there recently. We give it a fully serviced, checked over the suspension, checked the brakes. I think we might have put brake pads in it actually, but that was about the height of it. Other than that, everything was perfect. The engine is super strong. Whenever you really want to give it the beans, it gets up and goes like sort of, that's us doing 50 there at a heartbeat. So even though it's a diesel, you still got really good, really strong performance. I mean, compared to, as I said, I've got that Ford Ranger for everyday work, and it's got the 3.2 litre 6-speed auto in it. This thing here would leave it for dust. Whether you're pulling a trailer away from a standstill or you're just driving down the motorway, and performance is top notch. 325 horsepower, I think, 610 foot-pound of torque. It'll light up the back wheels on a wet day if you're not careful. You probably light up the back wheels on a dry day too if you're ignorant enough about it, but it goes really good. Turns good, stops good, tracks in a straight line. It's just a really nice driving truck, and because this thing has a serious bit of road presence too. Tight squeeze here. Turns a lot of heads, and you sort of gives you the king of the road type feeling whenever you're driving it. So I love driving these things. The left-hand drive thing doesn't take that long to get used to, and then once you get the hang of it, it's a breeze. Bit of this, not really a town car. This thing, it's you have to think about where you're going to park every time you take it anywhere. But other than that, it's really easy to live with. She's fitted with a 4-speed auto gearbox, and it has this tow haul mode, this little switch on the end of the gear knob. So you feel it kicking down the gear there. It sort of hangs on whenever she's in the tow mode, she sort of hangs on the lower gears for longer, just changes the shift pattern and stuff like that there. So she means it's easier for you to pull away with a heavy load and maintain speed in the motorway and stuff like that there. She's not hunting around for gears or anything, so that's a good thing to have. Particularly if you're looking to use this for towing loads. She's also got the manual shift down, so you can kick her down in the second or first gear manually whenever you're on the road. So that's good too. And everything, like everything just feels like brand new. The brake pedal's solid. The gear shifters nice and positive. There's no wear or slop in any of the movements or mechanisms. All the switch gear. Nice and clean and crisp movements and stuff. Steering's good. The whole thing is just it's just a really good driving truck. You never really buy these things logically, like an American pickup truck like this. This is an emotional decision whenever you're buying something like this. You're buying this because of the way it makes you feel, because it looks cool, because it's different, stands out from the crowd. But it is good to be able to back it up with logic whenever you're trying to convince your accountant or convince the wife or something. And this thing, as I said, on a run, I've seen 20 miles a gallon on the fuel readout with this here. It is a diesel. You can claim all your VAT back on your fuel. You can put it through 100% as a business expense because it's got the big payload capacity and stuff like that. It'll tow as much as any 4x4 or tow wagon on the road in the UK and more. I'm sure there's a way, if you want to convert it to like a fifth wheel or tow big heavy loads, there's probably some way you can reclassify it as a HGV or something as well. And it's got 12,000 miles on it. It's got loads of life left in it. Like there's a hell of a lot more logic to buying this than any of the other American pickup trucks I've bought. So if you are looking for sort of reasons to justify getting something like this one sort of ticks all the boxes, and it's the 3500, so it's the daddy of them all. You know, it is the sort of, you know, this is not your standard 1500 truck. If somebody shows up at Ram 1500 or a Ford 150, you can lord it over them. So whenever you put your foot down, she really does. She runs up through the gears quickly. She's nice and planted on the road. Road noise isn't excessive. Everything's going really good on this truck. It just drives a dream. So there you go, that's our Dodge Ram 3500 diesel pickup truck. As I said, it's a 2005 truck. It's only got 12,170 miles on the clock. It's the 4x4 heavy duty Laramie edition, so she's got the leather interior, 4-wheel drive, obviously cruise control, electric seats, tinted rear glass, auto dimming, rearview mirrors, power door mirrors, heated door mirrors. It's got all the toys you could want. It looks the part. We've sort of upgraded it a wee bit with the Bridgestone all-terrain tyres. That's 800 quid's worth of tyre, which is brand new on the truck. We colour coded the door handles, the door mirrors, the front grille. She's got the tonneau cover included in the sale, and it's just a fantastic truck. I don't think you'll find another one as good. I know you won't. You won't find another one as good as this. You won't find one with such low mileage. Certainly without spending at least double the money or more. But if you want to come and see the truck, you're more than welcome. If you've got any questions about it, you can give me a call, the phone number on the ad, or you can send me an email to niall@gulfstreamshop.com, or you can get our contact details on our boat sales website at gulfstreamboatsales.com. Thanks very much for taking the time to watch the video. Hope you liked it.